Asked me Friday night at probably 10:15, Dane. I don't know if you'll make the trip up, but there's a couple ways to look at it. You hate playing a team, 4 or 5 days later, but there's less stuff to go over. As a coach, you're not going to sit there and go over tons of things because I think, we're very familiar with what they do. But you also can make adjustments. I think that's part of our job as coaches to make the minor adjustments. Hopefully our guys are understand, exactly why we lost that game, and try to make those adjustments to be successful.
You said in the past that the good thing about basketball is that a loss won't stay long in your mind, because you play so many games. Does that ring true with an opponent when you lose to somebody the way that happened on Saturday night? Do you want to get right back in the ring with a team like that and kind of avenge that? I
know I do. I hope the guys do. I don't think anybody likes losing in general. I despise it, but I think also when you're facing that same team the very next game, this will be the first time all year that we'll have that opportunity. So it'll be interesting, and you're playing in a tournament, a single elimination tournament on a neutral site. So very, very strange series. We won up there, they won here. Typically, it's the other way around. Usually, you defend your home court. But tell you, in that game, it was a strange one. I'd never seen a stat. We shot 24 more shots than them. Think about that. We shot the ball 24 more times than them. Usually, you make about half of those because most of them were layups. So that's a difference of 24 points that you left on the board. Then also you left tons of points on the board through free throw shooting. You missed 15, but you really missed 20 from front ends of 1-and-1s. The difference was they shot the ball a heck of a lot better than we did. Their percentages were very, very high. I think they shot 64 from three, almost 60 from the field, where we were like 40 and 30. So on a big court, a big arena, I think this whole tournament will come down to defense. It always does. You can't beat yourselves. You have to take care of the basketball. And then, teams got to score. And sometimes in these venues, it's difficult. For our guys, we've played in some pretty big environments. So has Cleveland State. They played at Michigan State. We played at Indiana. So we're used to the big arena. We just hope that when we get up there on Friday, that round ball goes through the net.
With that being said, Jerrod, what do you work on this week?
I think a lot of it's their minds, Dana. I think more than a lot of physical stuff. I think number one is rest, because I'm sure Coach Felton would say the same thing at his press conference. We played 50 minutes of basketball. He had guys play a lot of minutes too. Cam Morris played 47. Naz Mahannon played 45. That's an extremely high number when it comes to minutes. So we have to take care of our bodies. We have to get sleep. And then we've got to work on, we worked on free throws again today, something that we've worked on continually. They're the second best free throw shooting team in the conference. We're one of the worst. So just the little things, and then really get their minds in a nice frame. As a coach, you talk about 4 phases to a season. You talk about the preseason. That's a lot of conditioning. That's a lot of skill development. Then you talk about the regular season. You got to survive your non-conference at this level, which we weren't able to survive. You got to survive injuries, which we were not able to survive. Then you talk tourney time. That's a whole nother season in itself. And at this point, everybody in the conference is 0-0. There's not a team right now that's won a game in the tournament. It's a tournament that's to be decided, to be determined who will get that right to play on Tuesday night, really on a national audience to make history. So you got to take it one game at a time. You can't look at the tournament as a tournament. You look at it as a single elimination game. If you don't win the game, you certainly get on the bus and you go home. The only difference between us and them in this game is they're the home team. There's really no difference. in the game at all. We both are going to have the same amount of prep time. We just played each other. There's other teams in the tournament that are playing each other again as well. I think there's 3 sets that we're all playing each other. Our last opponent will turn around and play in the tournament. It sums up the Horizon League. It's exactly what I said when we started conference play. There's been some teams that were supposed to be good that are good, right? Northern Kentucky was supposed to be really good. They were picked second. They won the league. There's other teams that didn't live up to those expectations. We were, with a week to go in the league, we could have finished as high as 5th. We didn't take care of the opportunities that we had, and it's just like in life. When you don't seize the opportunities that you have, Dana, there's probably a point in your career where you cease that moment. There's a reason you're the guy for your channel. You're the guy. Well, guess what? Nobody gave you that. You ceased that opportunity, and I don't think we did a real good job of that. And what hurts is 2 out of 3 of those were at home in front of great crowds. I mean, just awesome crowds. I don't know where we finished, but to see a crowd in an 8, end up being an 8-9 team in a league, that speaks volumes to our community, their desire to have a winning program. It was an awesome, awesome venue. And hopefully our young guys see that as the future, that's something that we could have every night, because it was an awesome environment. I thought everybody on our campus did their part, from our marketing to our admissions. There was prospective students, not our recruits. There was a whole group of people that President Tressel and our admissions group brought to here to see that. And I think hopefully a lot of those kids will become future Penguins, not basketball players, but future Penguins. The alumni was here. We had a great alumni event. It was just awesome.
Coach, the first half of Saturday's game, Cam got off to a bit of a slow start.
He did. Yeah, one thing about Cam is that's a good question. One of the things about Cam is it's never too late, because he's a senior. He's a scorer. He can make shots. So you have to credit Cleveland State doing a great job in that first half, but it's going to be hard for any team to hold Cam down. He's just a scorer. So I don't really hit the panic button. I try to think at halftime, how can I get him another shot? What can I do to put him in a better situation to get him a better look? But he made some big ones, in that second half. He heated up. Yeah, I think so, Dana. That loss was very, very tough. I think it was tough on the players, the fans. It's a game you sit there and say, how'd you lose? The reason we lost, Cleveland State made more winning plays. But it was a roller coaster. I thought when I came in there after the game, I just ran a marathon, and being overweight and the state I'm in right now, if I tried to run a marathon, I would, really, really struggle. I was struggling after that game. I was beat up and hurting for those seniors, hurting for our team, hurting for the fans. But as a coach, you got to bounce back. You got to get your guys in the right mind frame. We watched a lot of tape, and we move forward, and everybody's 0-0.
What do you tell the guys about entering this tournament, just from the task that's in front of you? If everything goes well, it's going to be 4 games in 5
nights.
So
Yep.
It's a lot of basketball potentially for this team. So how do you what do you tell them to expect?
Yep, I think every coach in the country at our level is probably being asked that today. There's even power schools that have to make runs in their tournaments to get in the NCAA tournament. We're all in the same boat. We're just trying to keep our teams upbeat. We're trying to keep them injury-free. We're trying to get them better. And you're also trying to get them to understand the history of the league and what's happened at this tournament. March Madness is all about upsets. That's what people want to see, and that's what they saw last year when we went to this tournament. We beat really one of the host schools, Oakland and Detroit. They're going to have more fans, and that's what hopefully our seniors and the guys that were in the program last year can get a taste of that again. But if you start thinking about, teams down the road and, you got to get ready for Northern Kentucky, you're not going to beat Cleveland State. So let's just take it one game at a time and understand the history. We had a 10 seed in the championship game last year, so it can be done. There's nobody that sit here and tell me it can't be done. Is it going to be really hard? Yeah. I saw our odds today on a Twitter thing from Ken Palm. Said we had the second worst chance to make a run. So to me, that motivates you, and let's defy the odds.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, good question. You know, we went through a lot of struggle. We went through a lot of ups and downs. We went through a lot of injuries. I think our kids know their roles. The biggest thing is they all understand their roles now. They know what each other can do. I think our young kids have really grown up. You know, there's been great moments. Naz Bohannon gets 15 rebounds the last game. That's hard to do for any player, let alone a freshman. He's one of the top rebounders in the league. I think Garrett Covington hitting the game winner against Oakland. You saw great growth in that. You know, Devin Morgan sitting out, a very, very good player from Delaware State. He's grown. Cam Morse has grown at the point guard position. Devin Haygood has grown. Braun's grown. You know, you grow through the struggles. You grow through the process of playing in a season. We're going to have to really grow up. You know, so that question, if you're going to go win a championship, you have got to really, really grow up on a big, big stage, because that's what the good teams do.